Hi everyone, we just managed to successfully kill Erin Bloodborne with a couple of Lycan Hall Walkers and a member of the Queen's Guard. So instead of that video being a closed box to closed box playthrough, I am going to introduce a couple more characters and we're going to have another go. So I'll pop the Lycan Hall Walker back. This is just showing you how easy it is to reset the game after a failure of the dungeon. So we'll whip over some health markers there. We may not use Erin Bloodborne, so we'll see in a second. I have all my standees all plugged into their bases here, by the way, and all lined up so that I can get them. I can get to them easily. I suggest you do something similar when you get your box. Let's have a look. So I think this time we'll try with a couple of characters. I'll just set those back to 0 a moment. Here we are. Yeah, this second character is going to need some death counters. And there's 3 death counters. I'll tell you what I'll do actually, just to make it a little more convenient. I'll get some space here for the 2 characters so that they can put their loot between. Right, so now what we're looking for is the character cards. The Gorgon's Loch comes with 5 pre-generated characters, and of course we have lots and lots of expansion packs and characters to go with those 5. But initially the retail box and the Kickstarter box is going to come with these 5 characters: Ragnar, Magnus, Norlessa, Julius and Erin. I'm going to roll 1d6 to determine which one we're going to play today. We're going to have 2 characters. If I roll a 6, then it's a re-roll. Otherwise, 1, 2, 3, 4 or 5, and it's... Oh, it's Ragnar. Okay, so Ragnar is in the correct position to start. That's rather convenient. I'll roll again. 2, Ragnar and Magnus. That was easy. Ragnar Agathorn, a Viking character, and Magnus Underhill, a Dwarven character. Great. So we are ready to go. The quest is, again, the very first one, Ebony and Ivory. We've got a white lock and a black lock, and our adventurers need to start here in the start room. They need to crawl their way across the dungeon, searching through the pile and finding a white key and a black key, place them in their locks while defeating the enemies that they come across, and that's the end of the dungeon. So, without further ado, let us begin. Obviously, we need to give this pile a good shuffle. This is 100 search cards. That, because this is just a quick one-shot, is going to contain absolutely everything. Of course, if this was the 3rd, 4th or 5th dungeon you'd been through, then in your character's possession, should they survive the previous dungeon alive, would be the stuff that they'd searched for and collected. Okay, little cut. Big cut, big cut, little cut. Now, because it's me, I'm not going to play this with just the 6 goblins and 12 skeletons that usually come with this single scenario. Apologies if there's any repetition, guys, if you saw the previous one. This is just for folks who are just watching this video for the first time. Because I created the thing, I'm going to have a go and put every single enemy into this enemy pile, including the Gorgon Queen herself. A little cut, big cut, big cut, a little cut, there we go. So as we spawn the enemies, we'll lay them out here, and then that will be the order of play. So when it's the enemy turn, 1st, 2nd, 3rd and 4th enemies spawned will play along. Okay, so we're ready to start, believe it or not. Ragnar is here. Pop the box back here. Ragnar, where are you? There we are. There's Ragnar Agathorn. There's his little standee. Let's start there in the room. And there's Magnus as well. I'll pop them on his card ready to start. So Ragnar is rolling for his start health points for the scenario. That's pretty rubbish. He's starting with 5 of a possible 12. And his action points are 7. So with those 7, he's going to search. Finds a small health vial. Search again. Right delirium. An ethereal voice calls out your name from the shadows. Ragnar, Ragnar. Your vision blurs. Confused and disorientated. Your turn ends. Well, if you will go crawling around a magical fantasy dungeon, that sort of stuff's going to happen. That's Ragnar's turn over. Off we go to Magnus for his starting health points. 4, even worse than Ragnar's. Oh dear. He starts there. You can start in any of those 9 squares in the start room, by the way. Rolling for action points, he has 8 action points. What's he going to do with them? Well, I think he's going to have a search as well, because we've got to find these keys. A gold ring. Oh, a snake bite. You trigger a trap. Roll 1d6. Score 1, 2 or 3 unharmed. 4, 5 or 6. Lose a health point. It's a 5. He's lost a health point. Blimey. Okay, so not a good second search, Magnus. Your health's down to 3. Your third search yields an empty scroll. Good treasure. Not very useful. And fourth is another snake bite. Blimey. Okay, so rolling 1d6 again. 1, 2 or 3 unharmed. 4, 5 or 6 lose a health point. Ha! Unharmed. Good stuff. Right. So his 8 action points are depleted to 4. And he's now going to move. And he's going to move 1, 2, 3. And now let's have a look at his specialist skill. His specialist skill is Bounty. Magnus is able to take the top 5 cards from the search pile, keep any that he wishes, and return the rest. Negative cards such as traps, wandering enemies, and dark enchantments have no effect. Does not count as one of the 4 allowed searches per turn. So I'm going to go ahead and attempt this. I need to roll 2d6 and score exactly 12. And I can only try that once per turn. So here comes Magnus's attempt at Bounty. Fails. I've got 9, not 12. So he's only got 1 left now. And with that 1, he's going to... oh no, sorry, no, that was it. 1, 2, 3 of his available 4, and then 1 for Bounty. That's it. It's all over. So that's Magnus's turn. There are no enemies on the board yet, so back we go to Ragnar. Action points. 5 action points. We're definitely going to have a search. Didn't work out well last time, but we need to find these keys. And he's found Eremore's bow. This powerful bow gives you an optional ranged weapon to attack within your line of sight with unlimited ammunition. Excellent. Second search yields a loose tile. This badly fitting stone seems to have neither value nor purpose. Return this card to the bottom of the search pile. The reason that card seems to have no value or purpose is because it's actually part of a win condition for another one of our dungeons, but that's explained in that dungeon. 3 action points remaining, 2 searches remaining, a maximum of 4 per turn. That's another loose tile. Lots of loose tiles in this place. I don't think upkeep is very high on the Gorgon Queen's agenda. And a small health vial, another one. So with my final action point, I'm going to go ahead and take one of those health vials and pump my health from 5 to 6. Okay. Magnus, rolling for action points. 3, oh dear. Okay, so Magnus is going to go ahead and search some more. The Scroll of Vitality. This scroll allows you or someone in the same room to gain 2 health points. You must then return this card to the bottom of the search pile. Well, he's only got 3 action points. First search has found this. So the second action point he's going to use is to use it immediately on himself to bump his health up to 5. So he's got a single action point remaining, and it's a small health vial. Now he hasn't got the action points left to take it, but it does sit there in his inventory for next time. Good. Okay, so that's Magnus's turn. Still no enemies. Back to Ragnar. Now, Ragnar's got 11 action points now, so he can do lots of things with those. But the first thing he's going to do is search and find some keys, he hopes. A bottle of Bilton's brew. That's like a medium health vial. A gold piece. And an enemy. So he discovers an enemy on his third search. And that enemy is Harpy number 1. And harpies are quite powerful. A harpy appears... Now, who are we? We're Ragnar currently, aren't we? So the harpy's just appeared toe-to-toe with him. There's the harpy. Okay. Now I need to keep an eye on these action points, don't I? So he had 11. He searched 3 times, 1, 2, 3, which yielded this enemy. So now he's going to attack the enemy. Now the harpy number 1 has 3 health points, a movement of 5, attacks with 2 dice, defends with 2 dice, so it's exactly the same as a standard player character. So good luck, Ragnar. 12! Blimey, that's massive. It's absolutely massive. And defends. It defends with 8. The difference is 4. It's killed straight away. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. So there we are. Excellent. Goodbye, harpy number 1. A little confused here because I'm busily using Magnus's dial, but I'm reasonably sure that that was Ragnar's stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and transfer those 7 here, 7 remaining here. And continue. He's got 1 search left. He's now in an enemy-free room, so he can. Finds Carter's slippers. These soft shoes allow you to creep around silently. If an enemy cannot see you, they will not follow you. Excellent. Okay. Now he's got 6 action points left, but he can't search anymore. So what he's going to do is he's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 6. So with his last action point, he's going to spawn these enemies here. Roll 1d6. That's a 6. There's only 2 spawn points, so 6 means all of them. So enemies 1 and 2 are about to be spawned. Spawn point 1 will contain Queen's Guard number 3, and spawn point 2 will contain Queen's Guard number 2. Okay. That's the way you want to play it. Queen's Guard's quite cool. I'll just show you to the camera real quick. There we are. It's Queen's Guard. Like a Centaur Hellboy crossover. Like those characters. Not so much when they're attacking me in the loch, you understand, but I like the artwork. Right, they're all set. Ragnar is out of action points, so now it's Magnus's turn. I'll just get Ragnar's action points back to 0. Okay, so Magnus is rolling for action points. 6. That's not going to be enough to get anywhere near these guys to help, so he's going to have a search. So 6 becomes 5 for his first search, which yields the Scroll of Death. Darn useful. Okay, so now he's got his Scroll of Death and 5 points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ah, he hasn't got enough. Yeah, he hasn't got enough. What I wanted to do was wander over there and give Ragnar his Scroll of Death, but I can't. So in which case I'm going to keep on searching. His second search yields another empty scroll. Third search yields a clay pot. And fourth search yields another clay pot. So you've got a nice collection of pottery, a couple of empty scrolls to wrap them in, a nice gold ring, a Scroll of Death, and a health potion. So that's all of your searches. You've got 2 action points remaining, and I think he's going to move just a little closer to his pal. That's the player turn over with. Now we go to the enemies. Queen's Guard number 3 was spawned first. She's there at the back, and movement of 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of its 6 is all it needs. Enemies don't need to use all of their movement. It attacks with 3 dice and defends with 2. So it's attacking Ragnar. Wow, it's big. 13. 13. So Ragnar is definitely going to be injured because he only defends with 2. He may be killed outright. Let us see. 9. The difference is 4. He has 6 health points, so he's down to 2. And I fear he's going to have to face the other... Oh, no, he's not. He's not going to have to face the other Queen's Guard because this Queen's Guard has sort of clogged the corridor now. That's good. So that's the Queen's Guard number 3's turn. Queen's Guard number 2 is now going to move up. 1, 2. That's all it can do. So that's the end of the enemy turn. Excellent. Back we go to Ragnar. So Ragnar has 2 health points and has just rolled 5 action points. So what to do with 5 action points? Well, In the first instance, we can try and trigger his specialist skill, which is instant kill. Roll 2d6. You must score exactly 12, only one attempt per turn, costs 1 action point to attempt. Ragnar is able to perform an instant kill on any one enemy in the 8 squares that surround him. The enemy should be removed from the board with its card placed on the bottom of the enemy pile. Does not count as one of the 4 allowed attacks per turn. So, he's got 5. He's in a bit of bother. So, yes, he's going to use 1 action point to attempt to trigger his special skill. So he will insta-kill that Queen's Guard if this is double 6. And it's not double 6, so he does nothing. So he's going to attack. His first attack is 10. The first defence from Queen's Guard number 3 is more than 10. It's 13, so it's fine. Second attack from Ragnar is 7. The second defence, oh dear, I've made a mistake. Sorry guys, hands up. The Queen's Guard defends with 2 dice. So it survived the first one. I'll let it survive the first one. My mistake. It's about to survive the second one, possibly. And it doesn't. Look at that. That's a powerful hit. Okay, so I believe it was 7, so the difference is 5. It only has 3 health anyway. So Queen's Guard number 3 is out of there. Okay. So Ragnar has had 3 attacks. So he had 5. That'll leave him with 2. He tried activating his thing. So he's only got 1. He's only got 1 action point left, but he does have Eramore's bow. So he's going to use Eramore's bow to attack Queen's Guard number 2. That's only a single d6 though. Scores 5. Queen's Guard defends and scores 8, so it's fine. So that's all Ragnar's action points used up. Over to Magnus. Magnus is rolling for action points and scores 3. Oh dear. Not a very helpful dwarf at this stage. So what Magnus is going to do with his 3 action points, he's in an enemy-free room, so he's going to use those 3 action points to try and find some of these keys. So in the first instance, he's going to do a normal search. Finds another clay pot. Quite the collection now, Magnus. Second search yields a bottle of Bilton's brew. Handy. And instead of a third search, he's going to try and attempt his specialist skill, which is bounty. But doesn't get double 6. So that's it. Now it's the enemy turn. Only 1 enemy on the board, and it's this guy. It's going to drift towards Ragnar and attack him with 3 dice. Wow, that's a big hit. That could be too big. That's 15. Ragnar only defends with 2d6, which means the maximum Ragnar can defend with is 12. The difference is 3. Ragnar's health points are 2. Ragnar has left the building. He's died. So Ragnar's dead. All of his treasure, Carter's slippers, Eramore's bow, the potions, all disappear to the bottom of the search pile. Ragnar's body wafts around the start room, waiting to be reincarnated next time round. And that's it. That's the enemy turn. So the enemy has attacked. So now it would normally be Ragnar's turn to start the character turn. So that's what we're going to do. 2d6 for starting health points. That's a bit healthier at 9. And so there we are. Starting action points, look at that, 12. So Ragnar, after being killed, is come flying out of the gate with 12 action points and is immediately going to attempt to attack his killer. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 will get him toe-to-toe, leaving him with 6 action points. He's going to attempt to insta-kill it by throwing double 6 and failing, leaving him with 5. He's going to attack with 2d6, scoring 8. Queen's Guard defends with 11, so it's fine. His second attack, 10. Queen's Guard defends with 10, it's fine, just. Third attack, 3, oh dear. Queen's Guard defends with 8, it's fine. I was doing it again, wasn't I? I've just been defending with the Queen's Guard with 3 dice instead of 2. That's my mistake. I made it more powerful accidentally. so I'm prepared to take that on the shoulders. His fourth and final attack is 8, and the Queen's Guard defence is 8. So that leaves Ragnar with a single action point, and he's going to use that just to move away so that Magnus, if he has the action points, can actually make it in front of him and attack this bad guy for him. So that's Ragnar's turn over. We're now looking to Magnus for help. And Magnus rolls a healthier 8 action points this time. So he's going to use it to go 1, 2, 3, 4. And then his first attack is 7, and the first defence is 6. So Magnus comes in and nibbles a bit off the Queen's Guard. His second attack is 11. Second defence is 7. So Magnus has come in and saved Ragnar's bacon by killing this Queen's Guard. What a legend. Okay, so they're now in an enemy-free section, or at least Magnus is, so he's going to use his final 2 action points to hopefully do a couple of searches, unless of course he finds an enemy. So, first search yields a medium health vial, and the second search yields a scroll of power, allowing you to roll 1 extra dice when attacking. That's a single-use thing. Okay, so there we are. So there's no enemies on the board anymore. We're back to Ragnar, who's back from the dead, and he's rolling for action points. 9. Okay, Ragnar, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Leaving him with 4. And he's going to search, because I've got to find these keys. There's a large health vial. Second search yields Jock's Madness. A mysterious cloud of smoke engulfs you. Coughing and choking, you fall to your knees and close your eyes. Confused and disorientated, your turn ends. Well, you're not having a great one, Ragnar, but at least you got yourself a health vial out of that little chucker. On to Magnus. Anyone's wondering why Ragnar didn't have to spawn enemies in here, by the way, when he just entered this corridor, it's because Magnus is standing on the lava bridge, so he counts as being in both of these board sections. Action points for Magnus. 4. Not great, so he's going to be doing some searching. His first search yields a red gem. I mean, Magnus is really fulfilling the dwarf stereotype here, isn't he? Second search, the Boots of Haste. These swift boots allow you to move up to an optional 3 squares without using your allotted action points. Very, very useful bit of kit, that. So I'll pop that there. 1, 2. So he's got a single action point left. So what he's going to do is he's going to go 1, 2, 3 with his Boots of Haste, not using his action points. And then he's going to gift Ragnar a medium health vial. Is he? No, he's not actually. No, he hasn't got many health vials. He should give Ragnar a gift, I think. Now he's back from the dead, don't you think? Yeah, a scroll of power. There you go, Ragnar. You can have a scroll of power. So he's just traded that. That uses up his action points. There's no enemies on the board. Back we go to roll for action points for Ragnar. 5. 5 action points. What's he going to do with them? We'll save 1 in the bank and let's have a search. Bilton's Brew. Good stuff. The Scroll of Anger does the same thing as the Scroll of Power. 1 extra dice in attack, and then you get to put it to the bottom of the search pile, so it's a single-use thing. A third of 5 points, a medium health vial. Blimey, doing much better this time round. And finally, or not so finally, I have 2 action points left. Right Delirium. An ethereal voice calls out your name from the shadows. Your vision blurs, confused and disorientated. Your turn ends. So yeah, it's a scary dungeon, this place. Dark enchantments everywhere. So, that's Ragnar's turn brought to an end. Still no enemies. Back we go to Magnus. 7 action points. So he's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'll just move back here and I'll show you what I'm actually going to do. He's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But he's going to use 3 of those for his Boots of Haste. So he's only actually used 3. Does that make sense to everyone? It's a bit of a confusing way of putting it, actually. He used his Boots of Haste to move the first 3 squares, 1, 2, 3. and then he used 3 of his 7 action points. 1, 2, 3, leaving him with 4, and with those 4 he's going to keep searching for these keys. No, he's not. He's just found right delirium. So in actual fact, he's going to stop. There's still no enemies on the board, luckily for these guys. So we're going to go straight back to Ragnar and roll for his action points. He has 7. Keep searching for these keys, I think, is a good idea. An enemy. Straight away he discovers an enemy with his first search. So 7 action points become 6. He's had 1 search, and the enemy that's just appeared toe-to-toe with Ragnar is Queen's Guard number 1. Another Queen's Guard. Blimey. These Queen's Guards are coming thick and fast, aren't they? The Queen's Guard action points. There we go. And yeah, so he's going to have to attack it, I think. So he attacks with 2. It defends with 2, if I can remember this time. 7 is the attack. The defence is 5. So straight away he removes 2 of its health points, but it's still there. His second attack is 4, not great. Second defence is 8, so it's fine. His third attack, that's more like it, is 10. It defends with 8. The difference is 2. It only has 1 health point. It's out of there. Okay. There we go. Yeah, we're down to 2 action points now for Ragnar. He's only searched once and discovered that enemy, so he's going to go ahead and search again. And a scroll of power. He's got 2 of those now. So perhaps Magnus might like one of those actually. And finally, he finds a gold ring. So he's got a bit of his treasure back that he lost when he was killed. Now it's the turn of Magnus. Snake Eyes. So he's only got 2 action points. He's going to attempt to activate his specialist skill. Oh, so close, but no cigar. We're looking for 12 when we do that. So with his last one, he's going to have a search and hopefully not draw an enemy. A scroll of immunity. This will reverse the effects of a triggered trap that he fails to protect himself from. Okay. Back we go to Ragnar. Still no bad guys on the board. 8. Keep searching. The golden brooch. Powerful treasure worth 50 gold pieces. The scroll of protection allows you to roll 1 extra dice when defending. It's kind of the opposite of the scroll of anger. Third, a blue gem. Again, some good treasure here. That's worth 30 gold pieces. And his 4th, an empty scroll. Again, that's a tradable item. So that's 4 of the 8. So what we're going to do with the other 4? 1, 2, 3, 4. On to Magnus. Action points. 8. 8 action points. I think we ought to work out how many bad guys are in this room. So he's going to take 1 of those 8 to stand on the lava bridge. There are 6 spawn points in this board piece. This board piece here is called the Great Hall. It's 7 by 7 squares, and it contains up to 6 enemies when you enter it. So, how many of the 6 are we going to have to do? Oh, roll a 1, roll a 1, roll a 1, roll a 1. Yes! 1 enemy. And it is, don't be the queen, don't be the queen, don't be the queen. It's skeleton number 1. Brilliant. Skeleton number 1 is a very low level enemy. This skeleton would actually be in this scenario were we doing it absolutely by the book for beginners. And because he was the first enemy spawned, he goes on spawn point number 1. There we go. There's Skelly. There's skeleton number 1. Okay, I'll pop his health points in there. Not too worried about that, guys. So Magnus has 7 points remaining. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We'll get him toe to toe, leaving him 2. Anything above a 7 is an insta kill. That's a 5. It defends with 1 dice and rolls 4. So it loses a health point, but it's still alive. Magnus has a single action point remaining. Attacks again. This time with 4. It rolls 1 to defend. And rolls 3. What a shame. What a shame for poor Skelly. The difference is one, it only had one health point, so away you go, Mr. Skeleton. But we have managed to battle our way and open up the dungeon now to these 2 finishing rooms. However, we don't yet have the 2 keys we need, so we need to keep searching. That's Magnus's turn gone. No enemies on the board. Back we go to Ragnar. 4 action points. The first search yields a clay pot. The second search yields a gold piece. The third yields the black gem. It's a very powerful thing, worth 30 gold pieces. And the fourth, Wyeth's Chakram. Wyeth's Chakram is a throwing disc. It gives an optional ranged weapon to attack with in your line of sight, and it always returns to its owner. So, nice one, Ragnar. That is a useful bit of kit. That's your 4 action points taken. So now we go on to Magnus. He's got 5 action points. So, with those 5, obviously we're doing on a search. An empty scroll for Magnus to go with his empty scroll collection. A scroll of death, super handy if we do happen to pull the queen out. He's got 2 scrolls of death, and there are only 2 scrolls of death in the whole dungeon. So, well done, Magnus. Third search. A triggered trap, a swinging blade. So, roll 1d6 to determine your fate. 1, 2 or 3 unharmed. 4, 5 or 6 lose a health point. Unharmed, so I don't need to use my scroll of immunity. But if I was harmed by it, I could use my scroll of immunity. Right, so that was the. Let's see, we got an empty scroll, a scroll of death, a trap. So we've got one more search left. A gold ring, and now he's got 1 action point remaining. So what's he going to do with that action point? He's going to try and trigger his specialist skill, which is booty. Fails. So that is his go over. However, he's also got these boots of haste. So I don't know whether to wander over toward... Yeah, I might wander over toward Agathorn in case there are any trading opportunities later. That's his go. No enemies, back to Ragnar. 7 action points. 1, 2, 3... takes you right next to Magnus the Dwarf. So that leaves you with 4. And I think we've just got to keep searching for these keys, huh? Scroll of Immunity. Lovely. Hasn't got one, so now they've both got a Scroll of Immunity. The second search yields a Scroll of Protection. That's great. Third search yields a medium health vial, so you can really pump this health up now. Magnus could do with some health, actually. And fourth, an enemy. Oh dear. And this enemy's just appeared right as we spend our last action point as well. So we're not going to be able to do anything about him, although perhaps Magnus will next go. So this enemy is right in front of Ragnar. Skeleton number 9. Again, not a hugely powerful enemy, so I'm not too concerned about that. There we are. Lovely. Okay, it's Magnus's turn to roll for health points. To roll for action points, sorry. And roll 7. I'll leave that at 6 and have a go at this skeleton. Attacks with 2. Anything over a 7 is an insta-kill. Oh dear. Rolls a 3. The skeleton defends. Oh, with a 1! Blimey. So the pathetic swipe from Magnus was just enough. So the skeleton clearly wasn't paying attention. Goodbye, skeleton number 9. We hardly knew thee. Okay, 6 action points remaining. Let's do some searching. Got a gold piece. Put that with the gold ring. There's another gold ring here. There we are. So we'll put some stuff together now. Second search yields the white key. The white key. That looks like that's perfect for a white lock, don't you think, guys? So there we are. Magnus has found the white key. He now has 4 action points remaining. There's the white lock. Do I keep searching now I've found it? Do I let Ragnar find the other one? Maybe I do. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's Magnus's turn over. No enemies on the board. Back we go to Ragnar. Ragnar, pull your socks up. Oh, I definitely should have done something with health points there with those final ones, shouldn't I? Never mind. Ragnar's turn. 8. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's get him a little bit closer to that other lock, just in case. And now we're going to start searching. Can you see, guys, how resource management comes in to this? It's there's lots of treasure. We've got weapons. We've got magical scrolls to keep care of. We've got anything to do with health, this sort of thing. It all comes in to kind of teach people how to manage resources. Okay, so first search yields a large health vial. That can go on the health pile. Second search yields the black key. Huzzah! Blimey, they're like buses. You wait for ages and they both come along at once. The black key, wonderful. So Ragnar has the black key and also has a couple of action points remaining. So Ragnar is going to move 1, 2 and wait just outside this room. So now it's Magnus's turn. Magnus needs to bolster his health, I think, just in case I pull the queen out here or something. So 12 will do nicely for action points. That'll give us some options. So with those 12, he is going to, let's have a look what we've got here. We've got a bit of treasure, some gems. We can't really do much with those. But we do have a bottle of Bilton's brew, which adds 2 health points, should you wish to glug it. We've got a medium health vial, again, that adds 2 health points. And we've got a small health vial, which adds 1 health point. So taking these 3 cards, 1, 2, 3, that's going to cost me 3 action points, but will add 5 to my health. So that's precisely what I'm going to do. So those 12 become 9, but my 5 becomes 10. Lovely. Okay, now I've got 9 action points remaining. I think I'll just go for it. So 1, 2 will get me onto the lava bridge. 1, 2. There's a spawn point in this room directly in front of the white lock. But because there's only a single spawn point, it doesn't matter what I were to roll with a d6. I'm going to be spawning 1 enemy. So instead of rolling for a d6 in these rooms, you simply populate it with an enemy. And it's Queen's Guard number 5. So, okay. So it's not a disappointingly weak enemy to finish it off with. But it's not the Queen either. Although I'm a little bit worried about how many Queen's Guards are here, because that tends to suggest you'd be amazed, given the random nature of the enemy pile, how many times the Queen's Guard, a couple of the Queen's Guard turned up, followed by the Queen. Okay, so the Queen's Guard's there. Magnus is all powered up with health. He's got 7 action points left. He's going to walk into the room and go toe-to-toe with the Queen's Guard with 6 action points remaining, and he's going to attack. And not only is he going to attack, let's have... Oh, you know what? You know what? He's not even going to worry about attacking. He's going to use another action point and use one of his Scroll of Death. There we are. And we can just go ahead and take this guy out. Why take the risk? If you're wondering about a magical dungeon, why take the risk? So, by Queen's Guard number 3, or 5, sorry. I'm sorry you weren't expecting me to pull out a Scroll of Death, but there we are. So now he has 4 action points remaining, and he's going to use one of them to slip the white key into the white lock. So there we are. There's 1 key in place. He's got 3 action points remaining, so he's going to do 1, 2, 3. And he's heading to go and help Ragnar out now. Now Ragnar, all you need to do now is roll enough action points to not be killed, please. There's no enemies on the board. It's not an enemy turn. Back we go to Ragnar for the finish. 6. 6 should be enough. 6 should be enough. There's 1. Leaving him with 5. Let's find out who the enemy is. Skeleton number 12. So an extremely weak enemy to finish with, but I'm not that worried. I'm not that panicked about that. That's fine. That's fine. We've dealt with some reasonably powerful enemies. So 4 to get him there. 3 to attack. Anything above a 7 is an insta kill, and he scores a 10. So goodbye, skeleton number 12. Straight out look. Fantastic. 2 action points remaining when he gets toe-to-toe there. He takes the black key, he places it into the black lock, and with his final action point, he does a little dance. Let's have a look. Only read below if you believe you have completed the dungeon. Do we believe we've completed the dungeon? I think we're looking at a success condition here, guys. Success! As the second key is pressed into the ancient lock, the ground trembles and the walls begin to crumble around you. A large stone archway reveals itself, though you cannot see where it leads, as all is dust and darkness. There is, however, a distant howl and the sound of muffled screaming from the depths. You pass through into the darkness, just in time for the ancient stone archway to collapse in your wake, trapping all evil behind you. Only time will tell what lies ahead. Congratulations for making it this far. If you're ready to continue your campaign, turn over to start Dungeon 2. And there is Dungeon 2, Rest in Peace. Some of you might recognise that from a couple of the other playthroughs we've done. So, fantastic, there we are. So that is Dungeon 1 of the Gorgon's Loch. The first time we ran this, today I ran this, with the overpowered enemy pile, of course, the characters were killed. We made it vaguely into this corridor here, spawned some extremely powerful enemies, were pressed all the way back and destroyed in the start room. In fact, I say we, I was playing a single character, Erin Bloodborne. This run through, exactly the same enemy pile. We didn't pull any Lycan Hall Walkers and we didn't pull the Queen out of here, but we did pull a Harpy, we pulled lots of the Queen's Guard out with some very powerful enemies, but just with the collaborative aspect of having two players and being able to pass things between us, that made it a little easier. So with two players, obviously the percentages go up of people who can complete it with 2, 3, 4 and 5 players, but I think that worked really well. So I hope you enjoyed the run through. That was Rest in Peace. That was Ebony and Ivory. So now I'm going to pack it all away. Now the dungeon itself took realistically between 5 and 10 minutes to set up and lay out, including getting all the standees ready and you know, all the various chits and stuff in place. But it really doesn't take long. And if you're playing this on games night and you're running a particularly long scenario or a particularly big complicated dungeon, like for example dungeon number 6, which uses all of the board pieces and is quite a big, a sprawling one, you can have people just turn up and all you need to do is give them this, give them the card of a character that isn't being played, and the next time it comes round to their turn, they just roll 2d6 to start for their starting health, and then 2d6 for action points, and they're playing. Just pass them the standee and they're playing straight away. And people can also leave if they have to, and people can take over their character, or they can just sweep their stuff up, dump it to the bottom of the pile and leave. So that drop-in, drop-out mechanic has also been very carefully engineered to have uninterrupted game nights, because we've all got that friend, and if we're honest, we've all been that friend at some point, right, who accidentally runs a little late or whatever. So yeah, happy days, happy days. I really enjoyed that. I hope you guys did. And you'll join me for our live Thursday night streams. We're going to be running some fan-made adventures. People have been writing in and suggesting various ways we can use the Storm system to create home brews of our dungeons. So we've been doing that. I've been busily printing and laminating cards for new enemies such as the Globber and its Globlings and this sort of thing. Yeah, great fun, great fun. Really enjoying it. So I hope you like the look of the game enough to go and check out the Kickstarter. Go and visit that link if you do. That's bit.ly/TGL relaunch. If you're watching this on the Kickstarter, then please do share it with your pals, share it with your friends. And that's about it. So, brave adventurers, thank you very much for joining us. And that is what we call in the industry, possibly, a closed box to closed box playthrough of the game I'm really proud of, the Gorgon's Loch. Thanks very much, adventurers. Onwards we go.